So, when working on these kind of older motherboards and that, it could take a bit longer. You could have to hit this type of screen every single time. It's just gonna happen. Um, just take your time, and when you do find an overclock that's just working, save it. Save it into an OC profile of some sort, so that way if you ever do an overclock and it completely turns off your system and it completely wipes your BIOS, which can happen. It will reset your BIOS. You will have something to go off of. You can just go off of that one that you had. Remember some of the timings and that you have for the RAM and or for the voltages, and go straight off of that. So here we should be just good to go. Oh no, let's go in the boot now. Alright, so it's gonna let us in the boot, so we'll have to go into the boot here. Check, I don't think an AI is on anymore, or our OC's on anymore, so we'll have to go back into the OC profile and load a profile that we want, which is profile 1. Okay, so that's just gonna get all sorted out now for its new settings. We might hit that one screen again. We'll find out here in a minute. If we hit that screen again, it's just an F1, easy. It should just load up in the bio or into Windows. If not, I'll have to go into the boot and switch over the boot drive. If you do make your own Windows keys in that, like a Rufus key has to go on to certain either legacy or EFI. And these older motherboards, you actually have to go into the motherboard BIOS and set the boot drive for UEFI or legacy, and that's the only way I get Rufus to work. I'm on Windows 10. I was told by a subscriber about these 8600s. You can run them on Windows 10. I tried it out last night after I made that one video just for a quick little test. And yes, you can run these graphics cards. It will load up the actual proper BIOS. You just gotta give it a minute. Now, it might not go into the fully updated BIOS, but it will give you the actual BIOS for it. If it doesn't give you the updated BIOS, of course, just go and update it. I should be all updated on this system after throwing it in yesterday. And then once I go into this GPU as well, as soon as I throw this GPU on, it's gonna have to do its own thing too. So I might have to do a little split screen for that too. So for here, so as you can see on the screen there, and I'll make it bigger for everyone to see. So for this screen here, see how it says the Hardware Bot Team Cup 2024? If you're doing this Hardware Bot competition, you have to have this back screen on every single upload that you put on. If it specifies you do not have to put a picture of your system, you don't have to put a picture of your system, but 99% of the time you have to have a picture of your system when you upload it to make sure everything is corresponding to the actual marks. A lot of these marks have already been done many times. There's a lot of CPUs out there, so there's not a lot. There's a lot of CPUs out there, so there's a lot of tests. Some CPUs have not gotten into an actual benchmark, or someone has only put in a small benchmark, so you can go and maybe get yourself a record. So we got everything set up here. And what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna grab the mouse. Oh, see, actually, it's not easy. Not easy off the second screen, you know what I'm saying? I don't need anything. I just want to see. I'm pretty sure I have 3D Mark. So, by the looks of it, I don't have 3 Mark SC on me. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, I'm so good. I'm so glad I do. Okay. So, I'm going to flip around this screen so I can set this up quickly. So, I'm actually okay with that. Like I said, okay, so okay, so pretty easy actually for this one. You just gotta run the benchmark. It's so hard to do off the second screen. So it's the top one here that we have to do. I'll make that a little bit better. All right, there we go. That took way too much. Okay, so everything here is set up now. We are going to be running this test. So we'll click that. Let's do this thing. Find out where my mouse is. I just gotta run. And we're running the benchmark. And we're running the benchmark. All these old benchmarks are so awesome. So this is 3D Mark 2001 SE. And this has to go, it's special, it's just a special edition. And so this is for part of a competition. It's doing pretty good. I mean, frames look very steady on it. Doesn't matter, it's an old test. This is literally from 2001. And it is an updated, for the time, is an updated type of graphics benchmark. Oh, what was the CPU beating the scores on this? I don't think it was the Sempron. It might be the Sempron. Going from, what, 1.5 or 1.8 gigahertz, almost to 4 gigahertz on it. Simple overclock. I might be wrong. I don't. It might not be a Sempron. It could be. I don't know. Sempron does sound right though. Yeah, Fire Breathing Dragon. This is from 2001. Oh, let me know in the comment section below. Like, does this look fairly decent for the time? In my opinion, it looks very good for the time. PlayStation couldn't do this, that's for sure. Yeah, so back then, back when these graphics cards were out, these 8600s, this 8600 GTS was like not a cheap card at the time. Today's price is close to two, I believe. And look at that. Like, the reflections off the floor from the tiles, bullet patterns, everything you would think of really for graphics. I'm not sure if this is running. I haven't ran this test in probably a few years now. Even when I did run it, it was only on a couple graphics cards, I believe. Just a couple. More or less for testing. All my testings I really do is like, I like Geekbench for GPUs, GPU-I 3.3, all of the 3D Mark, uh, 3D Mark, 3D Mark Vantage, 3D Mark Pro, all the Cloud Gates, all those Fire Strikes from Ultra to Easy. Same thing with Time Spy. All those benchmarks. I do have the professional edition for a reason. Get all of them for free. All the new ones that might cost money. It's a package deal back in the day where you paid a certain price and you get everything else free from there on out. It's kind of nice. Whoa, that is a rough test. Holy moly. Blur test? Probably for a different kind of like shadows and that maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't read the beginning there. Wow, that is just rough on the eyes. Don't look, people. Should give a warning on this one. Warning, warning. May cause you to go cross-eyed. Now we got the merry-go-round dragons. This monitor here, it was a Amazon purchase. It's an LCD 1080p 60 Hz monitor. It's great, has VGA and HDMI. Just takes a little 12-volt plug. I believe it's like 7 or 8 watts. It's very little wattage. But I did customize it. I will be making a full case for it and redesigning it a bit. But roughly this is how it's going to be. Just a lot nicer when it's done, of course. I'm going to be doing it all in 1/16 or we'll see, 1/16 thick aluminum sheet. Sort of like aluminum sheets. And I'll be making a nice um, basically box for holding in the innards and then making like a type of stand on it. Has a fan filter too, has a fan that I modded onto the actual PCB motherboard that's on it for the screen. I do have a video out there about that as well if you guys would want to check that out on how to solder on or how to find like a 12-volt line that you can solder on a fan for electrical components. Again, let me know what you think of these graphics for 2001. I'm literally running on stuff from around that era or a few years older or newer than when this benchmark came out, so it is running probably a lot nicer, but it is a pretty hefty benchmark for these types of graphics cards and CPU. Remember the CPU here, over here. Yeah, it's over here. So the CPU over here is custom water cooled, but it's also overclocked to 4.1 gigahertz, and the RAM is at 2200 megahertz, which is pretty good for these 1333s. And there's the score, and I'm gonna look because I can't really see that. Okay, so we got a 33583. That's no overclocking or anything on. That's literally just doing the score. So 33583. I'm gonna have to write this down. Alright, so yeah, HIPAA. So 33583. So what I want to do now, so what I'm gonna do is open up MSI Afterburner. Actually, I could probably show you all this. Easily show you. There we go. Boom. Be able to easily show. We want. What is it? So MSI Afterburner. There it is all there, but I'm gonna take this back again. And we're gonna raise it. So fan is in auto. We're not doing auto. We're gonna crank this fan. Crank the fan up. I don't think that even does anything. I'm gonna sit there. We're gonna raise the core. So the core is right now at 700, and the memory's at 1450. So we'll do 750 and 1500. Oh, my apologies. So the memory was actually at 1050. So we'll go to 1100. Okay, we're gonna restart some things. It's not accepting the change. It's not accepting it. One moment for technical errors.